right, should be up and running here. We got about 3 minutes until the close. All right, so we'll definitely take a look at the closing price as we finish up here. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for April 25th, 2022. We are getting a little bit of a bounce today in the Qs and SPY. If you traded with me this morning at the open, I said we are two decent sized bars, pretty big bars down, and into some support. I was saying if we get closer to 320 on the Qs, and I think it was 420 on the SPY, we definitely can look for a bounce. We may bounce at the open, but that's not exactly what I'm expecting. If we get sold a little bit more first, then we should get a bounce. I didn't expect that we would have another trend day because it just had been so many hourly bars in a row down. Okay. And so today we are getting a little bit of the bounce. Now the SPY here, I think has the better look of an hourly sell setup coming. All right. So as we rally back into this declining 20, I wouldn't be surprised if we even took it out by a little bit before really pivoting, just because minor resistance is up here. The manner in which we got sold here in this grind, got the 20 MA really pointing down. So I think, we're going to catch up to that 20 MA, and then that'll really be when we start looking for potentially the next leg lower. Now, I don't know how the extent of this bounce. I am expecting that it's going to be a short-term bounce, so we will come back in and break today's low, just not necessarily tomorrow. Definitely not going to happen today. But tomorrow or the next day, I think we got a short-term bounce here going on. Okay, so still bearish overall. All right, but now kind of timing wise, as was the case this morning, not kind of the right time, right? We've had this big move already, okay? And so now we're getting kind of the counter rally, but hourly in that downtrend, weekly, right? The sell setup got to target, weekly sell setup got to target here. The only time frame really holding up here is the monthly. You could say the monthly still has the uptrend, still has potential, although you do have, so far a pretty bearish bar, all right, from this month and negating the previous bullish bar that we had last month, okay? But every other time frame staying pretty weak, all right? So that's why we are staying bearish, but acknowledging that probably going to get a little bit of a counter rally here. We'll wait to see what that pivot looks like. All right, as Qs and SPY have a little bit of a relief rally today. So let's take a look at the IWM as well. IWM, same idea, had a grind lower, looking for that lower high to retrace some of that move back before potentially the next leg down. All right, let's go over the plays from today. Had two favorite longs, two favorite shorts. And the Goss kind of just came in right away, didn't really get much follow through, and then actually got bought. Okay, I thought that was a pretty decent gap. You can see it was initially gapping underneath the support, broke down, and then reversed. So impressive reversal there on the Goss. I also like the AX. These were my two favorite actually, AXSM, but AXSM never really set up. This you could watch for tomorrow, but the issue here was that it was gapping into support. We do have an island reversal here, but gapping into support, and ended up not really doing anything, not going anywhere, never played it, just because it didn't really ever set up. Now, there were two favorite long ideas, CENN and the SIMO, and I did try the CENN here, played it in the morning, as it was breaking out over this space here, and breaking out over that base. Did play it. Here's the gap. What I liked about this is not so much the gap, to be honest. It's that you have what's trying to trigger a daily buy setup there, as well as a weekly buy setup right? As it's trying to transition by putting in a higher low. Monthly, nothing really too special. It's been very, very weak in the long term. So I was looking to see if this was going to be kind of the start of something. Yeah, I think it was like 197 by 191, but it broke out, and then if you were trading with me, immediately identified, okay, we got some big volume going on in here, the biggest one on the chart so far, and then we got an inside bar, so you know what that means, right? We got to trail it. So it did trail there, all right, for a partial loss, and then eventually, yeah, never made its way back up. There were a couple times where it looked like it may set up again at the highs for a breakout or something, but you can see it closed kind of weak here. Or just toward the lows. It's not really weak. Can't say anything up 10.6% is really weak, but did close toward the lows. So wasn't really able to establish an uptrend today on the CENN. SIMO, however, had that a break over a base here on the daily, so that was good. And then just was really spready on the SIMO. Got sold initially, but then stabilized. And then had some entries here and there. I never played it, so I'm not going to get too much into the entries because, I just thought the spread made things difficult. There was 2-minute 1, 2, 3 that we did talk about here, right there. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3. But this, this was like, I think, like a 60-cent stop or something, and this thing had like 30, 40-cent spread. So that's kind of dangerous to do. If you get slippage on the way in, you get slippage on the way out, it could easily be risking something like 2 R's on something you only meant to risk 1 R on, but that's what works. So really, I think maybe the best follow through of anything today on that SIMO. So, I didn't think there was that much to choose from. I was excited going into the open because I thought we had a good group of gaps, and then turned out some were a little bit more liquid, and then some, like the AXSM just didn't even move. May as well not have been a gap day. This bar, is pretty small. So I thought, yeah, kind of a quiet day, boring day. I think very different than Friday. Friday, I thought, things got going right at the open and was a very eventful day throughout. So I think this may just be kind of one of those Mondays, even though it is an earnings season. Monday often is quiet like today was. So I thought overall, we did a decent job. I thought this morning staying out of trouble, but we couldn't. There was really, I think, just the SIMO to catch, and if you didn't catch that, I don't think there was too much else. There were some scalps here and there, CRXT. If that was available, I definitely would have played. That was very, very weak. The VRM in the afternoon just for a couple cents. The SIEN from Sammy was nice. Not only as the breakdown, but also as the long. So, still some scalps, but today felt like kind of an off-season day rather than an earnings season day, which is fine, but a little boring. Okay. So I think things will pick up as the week goes on. Definitely we have some big earnings still up ahead. I think the question with the market now is what will be the extent of this bounce? What is it going to look like when it creates any kind of pivot here, how is it going to react to this 20 MA? Like I said, I think we're going to probably get through it just because minor resistance is all the way up here in the 20 MA, especially tomorrow. This is going to continue to get closer to price, so it's more of the 20 MA catching up to price rather than price catching up to it. And that's a result of the grind that we had. All right, so I don't think in this case the 20 MA is necessarily the right thing to look for here as the point of inflection, okay? But it is the one that will at least be coming up first, okay? So I think we'll probably get there by tomorrow sometime. Then we'll see how the market deals with it. Okay? All right. Hope you did well today, or at least stayed out of trouble. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good evening.